I decided that I'm gonna react to unhinged tips for marriage today. So it says, it's late, I'm bored, please share your most unhinged marriage hacks. And I'm not talking never go to bed angry. I'm talking the most truly wild and insane things that you've been too embarrassed to share until now. And I chose this video because it has so many likes and I did not see the comments yet, but it has also so many comments, so let's check them out. I watched Shira 7 and stopped being nice and accommodating. My man is obsessed with me more than ever. This is so true, because I think that so many times we were pushed the idea that in order to be accepted and loved by a man, we have to just jump through hoops. I think that we often take things too extreme, but with this, you know, it's nice to be loving. However, if you're gonna do everything, you're just gonna put the man on pedestal and you're gonna be dancing around him with everything, then he's gonna think that he's the celebrity and you're just his fan. It's like the golden retriever black cat energy. There are some videos that I did not like when it comes to this topic, and there are some influencers who push this idea that you basically have to act like your man is not a human being and completely disregard his emotions. It's this energy that you take care of yourself well, you fulfill your own cup, you make sure that you are doing well first, and then the energy that you gain from this process you can dedicate to having a better relationship. But if you take the cup full of your energy and you just pour and pour into a man who is never giving you anything back, then you're gonna deplete yourself and you're not gonna have energy for yourself, and then you're not gonna do self-care, you're not gonna have energy to do hobbies, and you're gonna feel like you have to do everything to impress the man. I say no here. Take the energy back, focus on yourself, on being the best version of yourself, and the man will be attracted to this. I also experienced this multiple times because I used to have a very strong anxious attachment style, so I had a feeling like I have to really anxiously be close to the person, and I was trying to constantly gain their validation, and it ended up with the person withdrawing and not really being that interested. And once I started pouring energy into myself and into becoming the best version of myself, now I have a man who is obsessed with me. That was just such a big shift for me. So this is true. This is true, and I would swear by it. It does not mean you have to be cruel and not paying attention to what your person loves and being kind to them. We have a decision coin with our names that we flip when we both of us don't care on whatever we can't come to a joint decision on. For example, food. The name it lands on must make the choice. The coin is law. Yes, I know this situation. You don't want to decide, you know, but one of you have to. That's a pretty good idea. Very simple way how you can decide something when both of you don't feel like deciding. I would go for that. Before long car rides, we have a pep talk to remind ourselves we are not enemies. The children are our enemies. I don't have kids, but I feel this can be true for a lot of people. 150,000 likes, so this has some truth behind it. I jokingly say things like the dishes need doing and you need doing. I only have energy for one of these things. He does the dishes in record times. Facts. Oh my god. Yes, but isn't it so attractive when they do things around the house, you know? This is gold. Yes, true. The comment section is better than therapy. Oh my god. Yeah, it's very smart. It's very smart. There are a lot of good ideas. I Pavloved my husband by wearing the same scent only during intimacy for a year. Then I wore it to a family function and he went feral. He glares at me when I wear it because he knows still works. Girl, that's very smart. Yes. When he makes me mad, I make his favorite meal, but I add mushrooms because he hates them. That would not be a thing that I would do, but that's kind of cruel. I don't know. I would not mess up with someone's food. Like if this thing would be done to me, that's like That's offense. That's crime. So I don't think I would go for this strategy. I would not recommend it. You know, like it's... No. This is a no for me. If mine talks to me in a way I don't like, I like to go outside, make fake binoculars with my hands, and when he asks, what are you doing? I'd say looking for who you think you are talking to with that attitude. That's sassy. So again, that's not my style really. I'm not sassy in this way, but you know, it's still much better than if she would be rude towards him. He made her mad with something, with a tone, but you know, like I don't like using any sort of harsh words towards partners. So we have a 5-second rule. You have 5 seconds after you say something you regret to say. 5-second rule, and it's erased. It saved many arguments. You know, like if it works for you, good for you, but if I don't know if this would not be like unnecessarily used. So rather than focusing on trying to hold the words and not saying it, you start using this 5-second rule, I would still be hurt, you know. Once something is said, it's said. This is a no. This is a no for me. My husband and I refer to our innermost illogical thoughts as lizard brain. So we can share insecurities, jealousy without judgment. For example, lizard brain says you hate my haircut. I think I've read something about it. I'm not quite sure if it's in the book, my most favorite book about marriages. However, this is smart when you blame something that you go through on something else. So for example, me and my boyfriend, we blame everything on a mouse. That like mouse dropped the socks somewhere in the middle of the room, or mouse ate someone's snack. A very important thing, and I was actually quite surprised, that was also in the very good book about marriage. Couples who stay together can fight, however, when you bring out some kind of humor and you can turn the energy around certain things, then it's much better for the couple to process it and people don't get hurt. So in this case, you know, rather than one would come to the second one and say like, I think you don't like my haircut, then maybe the second person could get offended. I don't know how the relationship works, but let's just stick with this scenario. If one of them is already hurt and like scared that the partner does not like the haircut, then it could escalate unnecessarily. But by blaming it on someone else, you can also like blame it on a ghost, on some kind of third person. I've heard about this strategy and that it works. So this is a yes, this is good. I would go with this one, and we also kind of use like a modification of this idea. So we were party hats during arguments. How can you possibly argue badly with party hats on? Yes, that's a good one. I think that I heard also that when you fight, you can lay on the ground and like literally like fight when you lay on the ground. You look like angry worms. Party has that this is good. This is good. This is exactly what I spoke about. When you can argue, but you have to kind of like bring humor into the situation. It can be very difficult, you know, like you feel very emotional and feel overwhelmed. But in this moment, you kind of bring out that some fights are very like irrational. So that would be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and reading the comments of how people do marriage. I'm not married yet, but still you can use it in your relationship. It doesn't matter. It just prolongs the stability in your relationship to follow some of those ideas and recommendations. I hope you have a nice day and see you next one. Bye.